Thank you, Karen, for that
You're
nice
welcome.
introduction. Although I go by Ridenour too, so on all kinds of names on my mail. It's crazy. But I would like to thank you for coming today, and I would like to start out by saying that we all have something in common, all of us. We all have a family. And my business is the Biography Spot, a place to share your story. And what I do is I create an A&E style biography, but for your families. Well, why is preserving a family history the best gift that you can give to your future generations? I believe that the more you know about your family, the more you know about yourself. We all can recall a story that gets told at every family gathering. Same story, same person. We all kind of take that stance of, here, we're going to listen to the same story again. But do we really know that whole story? We know the snippet that's always told. Well, I would like to share a story from a recent biography that I just completed. Frank was 90 years old when I began recording his life story. Now, Frank was a fisherman. So, if I had one picture of him holding a fish, I had 12 of him holding a string of fish. At every age group, little kids, fish, fishing poles, in a boat, big, small, Frank was fishing. When I started the interview, I asked him, I said, so what's with the fishing, Frank? When did you start fishing? And how long have you been fishing? And he said, oh, I don't know. And so I let it go. And the further we got into the interview, he shares a story of when he was 13 years old and his mother and his baby sister were struck by an interurban trolley, and they were both killed. There was a silence, and he was tearing up at the story. And I asked him, I said, so what did you do then? And he said, I went fishing. And that's where it all began. And his family didn't know. They just always knew he was a fisherman. They never understood the start of where that came from. So how did Frank's story affect the future generations? Well, Frank's son bought a house on a lake. All of his children were raised on a lake, all grew up fishing with their grandfather. 2 of those grandkids are now in the Coast Guard. So that ripple effect of what happens and how people deal with their life shows in future generations. So I would like to say that your story is important. No matter if you think it is or it is not, your story is very important, and I would like to help you record it. And I would really like to take any questions if anyone has any at the moment.
So what you do is you interview us?
I do an interview. I do a personal interview, recorded interview. I take all of your 8mm film or your VHS tapes, and those can be interspersed into the video. And then, of course, all the old photographs. And basically, we just tell the life story. Yes?
How did you get involved?
Well, that's an interesting question. I did one for, I'm a photographer, is my training. And I did one for a aunt who said she had a crazy childhood and somebody needs to hear it. And I took that as my call. And so I sat down with my aunt after my mother's funeral, and I learned things about my family I had no idea, because my mom didn't talk about any of those things. But my aunt was a different person, and she told us all of the skeletons in the closet, and there was a lot of aha moments. It's like, oh, that's why mom was like that. And you don't blame a person anymore when you hear the story of, and it just makes you a little bit more accepting of stories. And then once I did that, I had other people saying they would like me to do the same thing for them, and I tripped and fell into a business. Well, thanks so much for letting me talk to you for a little bit. And my business is The Biography Spot, a place to share your story, www.thebiographysspot.com. And again, my name's Angela.